Morning, everybody. I hope everybody is having a good month of March. We are getting ready to start our Farragut Tourism Visitor Advisory Committee meeting. Due to the COVID, Governor Lee's executive order for the COVID-19 pandemic, we are still doing our meeting online. It is live. Trevor, is there any kind of statement that needs to be made for people that are joining our meeting?
Candace, I have that information.
Okay, would you like to read it, Karen?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. I'll go ahead and get the meeting started with this announcement. So this is the March 16th, 2021 meeting of the Farragut Tourism Visitor Advisory Committee. The meeting is held virtually as authorized by Governor Lee's executive order regarding the COVID-19 pandemic and can be viewed live on the Town of Farragut YouTube channel, Charter Channel 193, TDS Channel 3, and at www.townoffarragut.org/livestream. We'll start this morning with a roll call vote. When I call your name, please say present. Committee Chair Candace Viox.
Here.
Vice Chair Ashley Lynch.
Here.
Secretary Julie Blaylock.
Here.
Alderman Ron Pinchuk.
Present.
Wendy Robinson.
Here.
Trent Walker. Trent. Amit Patel. Alex Botka. And Michael Bellamy.
Here.
Thank you. Do we have, let's see, additional members of the town staff? Let's identify themselves. This is Karen Tyndall, the tourism coordinator.
Mayor Williams.
And Sue Stool, Parks and Recreation Director.
This is Trevor Hobbs. While I'll also be providing technical support, I'll be here in the capacity of the business liaison and assistant to the town administrator.
And members of the media, I think I saw Michelle's name pop up. We have members of the media this morning. Okay.
Yes.
And any additional guests on
with the Farragut Press? I'm sorry.
Oh, there you go, Michelle. Good morning. And any additional guests this morning to identify themselves?
TJ Fletcher with Mad Media is here.
Good morning, TJ. Just as a note, I'd like to remind everyone to please mute your microphone to limit your background noise. When you're ready to speak, please unmute your microphone and state your full name before speaking. When finished speaking, please put the microphone back on mute. I'll turn the meeting over now to Candace Viox, our chair, for the approval of last meeting's minutes. Thanks, Candace.
Karen, looks like Alex must have just now called in.
Excuse me, Mayor. Alex Botka's here now.
Somebody with the name Alex is on there now.
Okay, I'll check on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Karen. So I'm assuming everybody was able to, first of all, calling the meeting to order this morning after Karen was able to read everything for us. The approval of the minutes, was everybody able to review those? They are on your screen. If there are any questions or comments that anybody would like to add, please state your name and share. If not, somebody can make a motion to approve the minutes.
This is Alderman Pinchuk. I'll move for approval.
Is there a second?
Robinson, I'll second it.
Thank you. The minutes have been approved from last meeting. And now we're moving forward to our tourism coordinator report from Karen Tyndall this morning. Thank you.
Do we need a vote on that motion?
We can do a vote. Karen, do you mind doing the roll call again?
Sure. Sure. Okay, so this is for the approval of the minutes. Candace,
Yes.
Ashley, Ashley Lynch, yay or nay on the minutes? I wonder if she dropped off. Julie,
Yes.
uh, Ron Pinchak,
Yes.
Wendy Robinson,
Yes.
Alex Botka, and Michael Bellamy.
Michael Bellamy, aye.
It sounded like Alex was chiming in.
He chatted on the lower right side of the screen and said yes.
Gotcha. Thank you. Let's open my chat.
Okay, so the minutes have been approved. Thank you for taking that vote, Karen. Now on to the tourism coordinator report.
Sure. And I'll give Trevor, I think he's going to actually share the report for us. Here we go. All right, perfect. So I sent this out in advance. I know last time we had some difficulty getting it up on the screen, so I thank Trevor for being here this morning and getting the presentation up on the screen. So this is the tourism coordinator report as of March 11th, 2021, to just kind of give you a slice of where we stand. We always start out looking at our hotel numbers, and I didn't have December or January to report back at our January meeting. So those are the new items there. Again, you'll see occupancy is starting to improve. ADR is going up slightly. That's your average daily rate. January looked even a little bit better. The change in occupancy from 20 to 21, so a year's difference. It's down 11.5%, and ADR is down 13.6%. One thing to note on, we not only look at our STAR report, not only lets us have a little slice of what the Farragut hotels look like, but kind of the region. We're looking at different sets of hotels, and it was interesting to see that Farragut is doing really well, in comparison to other areas around us, and both Oak Ridge and Lenoir City actually were equal to their last year's numbers. So again, I do think that holds true to people are still trying to stay where, they're not directly in the middle of a city. They're still looking to stay just a little bit outside a city. So, compared to the downtown Knoxville numbers, places like Farragut, Oak Ridge, Lenoir City are seeing the recovery just a little bit quicker. So that's good news right there. So Trevor, if you want to advance the slide. I also put in some information from the Longwoods travel sentiment study. Now Longwood's been doing studies for years and years, but with the pandemic, they started really focusing in on their surveys and kind of trying to figure out what the traveler, what was their mindset all throughout the pandemic, and as we're, on hopefully this side of the curve. So you'll see that the number of travelers planning a trip in the next 6 months, this is really good. In January, only 63% of people were thinking about traveling in the next 6 months. We all know there's been, a push to get the vaccine out and get the vaccine in people's arms. So on March 3rd, that survey, that had increased to 84%. So up almost 20% you know, 20 points there. So that's a really good indicator that people are starting to feel like they're ready to take that step. Now, within the next month, you know, only 16% are thinking about traveling. Again, that may be as a result of I've had one shot, not two. I'm, you know, whatever time of year, but you know, I think these are good indications that people are starting to make that mind switch. So I just wanted to show you those numbers because I think that's reason for optimism. So Trevor, you can go ahead and switch it. And this slide, again, this is from the Longwoods Travel Sentiment Survey. This kind of lets you know about your own community. So this is the top line is respondents that strongly support opening their community to visitors. You know, 44% of the people are saying, yeah, I feel okay with people coming into my area now. So that's, again, we're seeing an increase there. 51% are actually, they strongly support traveling outside of their community. So they feel safe enough, you know, to hit the road or maybe hop on an airplane and go, you know, go brush off 2020. So, you know, that's good news because we know they need to stay somewhere. The next one is the percent of respondents that feel safe dining and shopping in our local stores. You know, we are, the sentiment survey is now almost at 50%, and that's great news for our local businesses and restaurants and retail to know that, you know, almost 50% of the people are ready to maybe, you know, brush aside the curbside, you know, dinner and come on in and sit at a table and really be able to enjoy a dining experience, or are really ready to get out a little bit and you know, shop not from the window of their car or their keyboard, but you know, get out and actually have that shopping experience again. So again, that's all good reasons to be optimistic. And then, you know, 20% of people are saying that COVID-19 is not influencing their travel plans. So they're starting to, again, feel just a little bit more comfortable with where the country stands with the COVID pandemic. So Trevor, you can go ahead and switch it. Thank you. This is kind of exciting, these two little bits of information. So since our January meeting, we have actually partnered with Print Distribution Service, and I've gotten approval from the State of Tennessee Tourism Department to get our rack card in welcome centers throughout Tennessee. So starting April 1st, they've already been printed, and starting April 1st, they will be in 5 of our Tennessee welcome centers in the east area of the state. So that has been a goal. You know, when I started, we didn't have any information. So this is really great news that people, you know, who are entering Tennessee, we know welcome centers, people stop, you know, people want information about where they're going. So we'll have information there. Of course, we're also represented in the Tennessee State Guide and the Visit Knoxville Visitor and Relocation Guide. So that's great news starting April 1st. That will take place. And then the second picture there, thanks to partnering with Pinnacle at Turkey Creek, we were able to get slat wall for our community center. So we now have a little information booklet center. You'll see it's as you walk into the main entrance to the community center, it has travel guides from you know, Knoxville, from the state of Tennessee, all of our information, our dining guides. And I just came in this morning and there were some additional guides from, from Visit Knoxville to put up there. So, excuse me, my voice was getting scratchy. So that is all available now at the community center, and that will continue to grow. Like I said, I got new guides in this morning. So we have information available here for people to pick up. So that is, again, that was kind of a goal that we had set, and I'm happy to report that that is up and available. So stop by and take a look. Trevor, you can go ahead and switch. I always like to report. Ooh, that looked like it got funky. I always like to report on the social media platforms. The Visit Farragut Facebook page increased, their followers increased 18.5% from January to March 10th. And you'll see that the green graphic there with the 3 pictures. You know, again, we're following that History Hops and Hometown Feel campaign. So we want people to know that, you know, we've got plenty of lodging, plenty of dining, plenty of shopping, plenty of parks, and plenty of gas. So this has been a really successful campaign for us in increasing followers. And then on our Visit Instagram page, we've increased almost 4% from January to March 10th. So, and those 2 graphics there, those are the highest organic reaches. The green graphic there reached 2.5 million people, and the Instagram post reached 1.6 million people. So we can go ahead and flip it. There we go. All right, so this is the paid advertising. So this is, again, advertising that's geared outside our local community. Of course, we want them to click and look at, you know, our organic posts well, but this is, you know, our paid advertising, our largest, our big ones for the month. So from January 10th to March 10th, we've spent $613, and you'll see all the numbers there. That includes 115 paid ads, the engagement, or the impressions, 83,000. You know, 3-second video views. That's what you look at. Are people just kind of scrolling and your video starts and stops? You know, you want people to actually watch the videos. So we've got our top videos were History Hops and Hometown Feel. Again, that is the one we're using. If you go to the state campaign, this video will be playing all year round, and it features a lot of our area restaurants and things. So there's our mixologist Kevin over there at Water into Wine. The one on the right side is Brick House Collectibles. It's a great little store in West End Center. Fabulous owner. If you get on his Facebook page, people love the owner as much as they love the store. He's really a fun guy to go in there with, but it really is a store that appeals to everyone. You know, adults, they've got these amazing Lego sets for adults to build that are incredibly intricate, a lot of STEM type products in there, educational products, but you've got comic books and baseball cards and things for young children, and it's just a really great store. So that Brick House Collectible video did an amazing job. And then that final one, the one in the center there, again, History Hops and Hometown Feels, that featured 35 North, which, you know, we saw open in, I believe it opened in January. So, Trevor, you can go ahead and advance it. Thank you. This was exciting. Just on March 9th, through our CARES Act, I've been reporting to you guys that we have really developed a nice relationship and are continuing to develop a nice relationship with Visit Knoxville. And of course, you know, Visit Knoxville is the heavy hitter in the area and all over the state. I mean, Kim Bumpus and her group, you just can't go anywhere and not hear people really just praise what they do in the area. And we had the opportunity through that developing relationship to have the sales team and the convention sales team come out to Farragut and spend 3 hours with us. And really, they wanted to see what Farragut had. They hadn't been out here in a couple years. So, you know, what had opened? What did our parks look like now? What can they piggyback and help us, you know, promote and work together on campaigns together and partner. So it was a fun afternoon to go out. We started at the museum in Town Hall and, you know, went to all our parks. We visited the Campbell Station Inn and the beautiful new plaza. And then we also toured the community center and talked about all of the rental opportunities available here. So And we also, I'm sorry, we also went out to the Pinnacle. If you haven't, the Pinnacle offices are also a Visit Knoxville satellite office. So we stopped by to check that out. And the center of the Pinnacle, where that obelisk had sat for years, that is all being redeveloped into a beautiful sort of event space itself. So we took a look at that that great new venue that hopefully will be opening here in the spring. That will bring more events and more people to this end of town. So we did all that. Now, the results of the FAM tour already, and this was just, it was actually a week ago, it was last Tuesday. Malcolm Shell, who is a local historian, he happened to be working as a docent in the museum the day that we came through, and started talking with the social media director from Visit Knoxville, who runs a very well-read blog in the area. And he is going to be doing some blog posts for her on Farragut history. So that is a great opportunity to have more people read about Farragut, become interested in Farragut, come out and take a look at the history out here, and visit our museum and our great restaurants and shopping. And Visit Knoxville also had a travel writer plan to come on April 28th. And they really hadn't thought about bringing them out to Farragut, but after the FAM tour, she ended up calling me and saying, hey, we want to come back and see the museum and the plaza, and take a look at one of the parks. So that's an opportunity. You know, those travel writers reach far and wide. And again, anytime you can have somebody really come out and experience your destination and then write about it, that's always going to be beneficial. And it's long-lasting benefits, because you know, those type of blog posts and articles are out there for, you know, now thanks to the internet, they're out there for everyone to enjoy for a long time. So the FAM tour was really fun, and I think we will see a lot of benefit coming from that. And Trevor, you can flip it if you'd like. And this is kind of small on your screen, so I also kind of sent this document to you because I knew it would be small, but I tried to encapsulate kind of all the work that gets done between our 6 to 8 week session, you know, where we don't get to meet. And I divided it kind of into categories. And when I did that, I was like, wow, you know, after bringing Visit Knoxville over, like each one of those columns would have been a single person. So a lot of work ends up happening, and a lot of it is groundwork as we are establishing ourselves. February 18th was just my 3rd year here. And so to think that we started with a lot of, you know, research and a really good idea, I feel like the program has come a long way and we're moving in the right direction. So I'm not going to read everything on here, but just a couple highlights under the media and social marketing and social media column. One thing to note is Wendy Smith and Julia Barham, our museum coordinator, and Wendy is our PR and marketing director for the town. They paired up and created a really nice Farragut history, a walking history map that's now available at Founders Park. And we're working, it's also available on the Visit Farragut website. And we're working on getting that into a brochure form that we can start to distribute. But it is a Farragut history walk that invites people to start at Founders Park and look at all the signage there, the interpretive signage along the trail about the history of the area. Continue the walk down to Mayor McGill Plaza, again taking a look at the interpretive signage, talking about again the history of the area, continuing to Town Hall, of course, where we have our Civil War trail marker, conversation about the Battle of Campbell Station, and of course take a look at the museum, and then continuing the walk. And thanks to Public Works, we're excited, they can continue the walk all the way down to the Pleasant Forest cemetery, and Public Works is completing a little connector piece of sidewalk there on, I believe that would be South Campbell Station Road, to make the walk safe and accessible for everyone. So it's a nice way to spend a beautiful afternoon and really enjoy history, again, all the way from Founders Park down to the Pleasant Forest Cemetery. So that's an exciting thing, and you'll see us doing some marketing as we get all the materials in place to do that. And that Farragut History Walk has also been shared and picked up by the State of Tennessee site. Under outreach, I kind of already touched on it, but I guess the big highlight there is finally that RAP card being distributed. The 5 welcome centers that will have our RAP card are Bristol, Hartford, Jellicoe, Kingsport, and Unicoi. And we will be able, through that distribution service, we'll be able to track, we'll know how many RAP cards have been picked up each month, and we'll have a way to kind of gauge what the next steps are as far as distributing that throughout the state. Under the seminars and conference tab, just to highlight, every year the state does 2 conferences, a governor's conference and a blizzard conference in February. This year it was virtual. It was kind of funny because last year the blizzard conference, literally as we were driving back from the blizzard, it was in Nashville, we started hearing about COVID closures throughout other parts of the country. So, you know, people were reminiscing about what a year it's been. But the state always puts on a great conference. We also had the opportunity to have a Zoom call with Senator Bill Hagerty, and he was really interested in the state of tourism in the state of Tennessee, what the needs were for the industry, and how he could support that. So it was great to be able to listen to our newest senator and have him interested in you know, the industry here in Tennessee. Under tournament support, probably the highlight here is we now have a new process in place when individuals book a tournament, that I will see that information before they get the approval for it. So I'll be able to hand those leads directly over to our hotels. So I think that was a missing link in the system. And so again, as we've kind of worked our way through it over 3 years and we're getting methods in place, we'll be able to report tournament leads directly to hotel sales staff so they can follow up and make sure that our tournament folks are staying in Farragut and having a wonderful time when they're not out competing on the fields. RFQ, again, kind of the highlight there is we have worked with Madden Media. We've secured a contract which BOMA approved, and TJ Fletcher is on the call. He's going to be doing a presentation for us here in a little bit. So that was really great to have that first step wrapped up there. Under group leads and or group planning and leads, the thing to note is we have secured the Uss Farragut Reunion. They were supposed to come last October and ended up canceling, but they are confirmed through October 14th through the 17th for about 120 is what they are estimating, that group of about 120 individuals. And I am working with them to source tickets for places they want to go to and plan their days here enjoying East Tennessee. And then, you know, under the dreaded other column, which is always, you know, seems like the longest, just a couple things to think about. Our website will be a WordPress website, so I am taking online course on WordPress just to make sure that I'm up to speed with everything. It's been a while. I've worked with WordPress in a previous job, but I want to, you know, technology changes seemingly by the hour, so want to get that done. We've also secured P38. You know, Gary Stedman is the owner of P38, and he just continually captures beautiful drone photography of Farragut. And I'm just really appreciate all of his work, and I'm happy that he's going to continue to work with us. And we've also submitted both our Open Doors campaign and our dining guide for the Medic Excellence in Tourism Awards. And they didn't give out the awards in 2020, but in 2019, hopefully you remember, we won an award for the Launch Your Concert Series under the event category. So fingers crossed that our nominations will be favorably received, and we can look for a little more exposure there. And then Trevor, if you want to advance, I think we just have one more or two more to go. I always just like to report on new kids in town. Hopefully you, these pictures, you don't even need me to tell you what the names of the businesses are, but those are charcuterie cups there from Euphoric Cheese Shop. And they were, those actual cups there were given to our FAM tour, taken on the bus with us at the FAM tour, and they were favorably received. They do have a ribbon cutting, I believe it's this, I think it's Friday, and they are going to have a little smaller version of those charcuterie cups there available. But Euphoric Cheese Shop is in West End Center, fabulous new business, women-owned business in Farragut. And then, of course, we've got some St. Patrick's Day donuts to look at. Admiral's Dojo is on Parkside Drive. It's a great addition to the town. I love what he does. They're open until they sell out of donuts, and every day he posts that happy person who gets the last donuts. Again, just fabulous fresh baked donuts, pastries, amazing coffee, and it's a great little shop to you know, meet a friend at. Just a really nice, again, family-run business here in town. So we wish those businesses the wonderful luck and long years of longevity in Farragut. And finally, Trevor, if you want to flip it one more. There we go. If you have questions, let me know. And then I just always put on there the next meeting, but we'll talk about that at the end. But if there are any questions, please feel free to identify yourself, and I will do my best to answer your question.
This is Alderman Pinchuk. I just want to say thank you. That was an excellent presentation and really good input on your part. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Karen. That was very insightful and exciting. We have a lot of stuff going on. So, and I know Doc Days, Farragut Business Alliance has a meeting on Thursday, so there are going to be some more events that we're going to be able to add in our outdoor concert series as well. So I'll be getting some of that information to you as well, Karen, to get on our Visit Farragut information for you. Update on the RFQ. Wendy, I believe you have a presentation to share with us.
Thank you, Candace. As Karen was saying, the RFQ committee for our website development all recommended Madden Media. So the staff presented a contract proposal to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen at the February 25th meeting, which was approved unanimously. So this morning we have asked TJ Fletcher with Madden Media to join us and give us an update on our website development project. TJ is our account representative, and he is a graduate of UT Knoxville, so he's very familiar with our area, and we hear that he loves Tennessee, which we're all glad about that. So I'd like to welcome you, TJ, and I will turn the meeting over to you.
Well, thank you so much, and I definitely look forward to working with everyone, and I am so excited to work on this project. As you mentioned, I am a graduate of UT Knoxville from 2009, so go Volunteers. And I currently live down in St. Petersburg, Florida, but I lead a team that is based on the East Coast. I've been with Madden for the last 6 years, and Madden works solely in the travel, tourism, and economic development space. So if you want to go on to the I will be leading a team of account strategists, creative strategists in design, as well as MarTech and communications. So I'll be leading a team of about eight to 10 people that will be working on the project at any given time. Myself, along with Jennifer O'Connor, will be our day-to-day contacts, working with Karen and Sue. But we are really excited to work on this project, and we've already kicked off the project with the Visit Farragut team as well. Next slide. So I wanted to just give you a little bit of background about who Madden is. We are a travel and tourism destination marketing organization. We've been in business for over 38 years, and we focus solely on that travel, tourism, and economic development space. Our corporate office is based in Tucson, Arizona, but also in part due to COVID, we are all actually remote workers now at this point. So as I mentioned, I live down here in Florida, but we have 110 destination storytellers that are kind of spread out across the nation working for us. Not only do we work with CVBs and DMOs of every size, but we also work with the partners as well. So helping hoteliers, helping attractions and restaurants. We really leverage our massive network and buying power to really buy down the rates and help everybody get affordable rates that may be only available to some of the larger CVBs or larger destinations. We kind of pull our resources to help all of our clients across the board. Next slide. If we could go on to the next slide, please.
Bear with me, my laptop is non-responsive.
Gotta love technology sometimes.
I'm pressing the button and nothing's happening.
There we go. So why Madden? We believe in transparent data-first strategies. We are fully transparent in everything that we do. We'll be providing a timeline of exactly what is happening on every given project, as well as what that budget is, because we believe in full transparency. We also believe in creative that sparks the imagination. We want to, have engaging creative and something that really inspires people to dream about a destination. When we market to nurture traveler curiosity, making them interested in the destination, piquing their interest of what else can I do there. And then, of course, we also are always testing, learning, and reporting, making sure that we're optimizing our performance, making sure that we're capturing those benchmarks and comparing it to other destinations and what the industry averages are, and trying to go above and beyond, and then always reporting back in real time of what those results are. Next slide. So a couple of months ago, when the RFQ was issued, we really did a deep dive into the brand, the destination, trying to understand the goals. So we really narrowed down the goals of what Visit Farragut wanted to do by enhancing the economic impact of the area in partnership with your hotels, your businesses, and your community organizations. So we knew that you wanted to enhance your website footprint and digital footprint. Expand the reach of the Visit Farragut brand among the community, but also along the I-40 and 75 corridors. We wanted to implement activities to encourage residents and businesses to live the Visit Farragut brand, and then also to develop and market and distribute information that reinforces the tourism brand to those appropriate key audiences. So from there, next slide, we wanted to make a promise of what we were going to do for you. So really recognizing what your long-term and short-term goals were of boosting visitor awareness to grow in-market spend and overnight visitation. We're going to also develop a new website with improved internal and external user experiences. We want to make sure that we're engaging key markets and key audiences with consistent messaging and branding. And of course, making sure that we're tracking all of the results and improving both the site and the marketing performance over time as we move on from the website build to marketing the town itself. So really, with this, we developed a strategic plan that does go in phases. So with our first phase, next slide, please. we really wanted to focus on making sure that we get the house in order first. You know, the website really is that foundational platform that manages your whole ecosystem. So if your house isn't in order, you know, you're not going to have the best user experience. So we really wanted to make sure that in phase one, we create a custom new website that delivers an amazing user experience and it inspires prospective travelers to visit Farragut. From there, once we get the website complete, we're going to move on to, you know, hopefully move on to other marketing-driven strategies, such as improving the content that's on the page and expanding the marketing platforms. So with that, in our first phase, we can go on to the next slide. The next slide, please. We really wanted to focus on what those key priorities of the website should be. So working with Karen and Sue, we came up with a priority needs list that we really wanted to hone in on and focus. So the first being that we wanted to improve content, focused on keyword-rich content. So making sure all the content is tailored to relevant keywords. That's crucial to SEO performance and making sure that the website is easily found on search engines. We want to make sure that we improve the navigation menu, making sure that the navigation is easy to use and focused on key topics that allows for access to the entire site and ensures users don't get frustrated or confused when using the website or trying to find information that's really relevant to them. We also want to make sure that there's call to actions put on the pages. Creating better call to actions really helps promote user interaction and allows for users to better find the information that they're looking for and to drive key traffic deeper within the site. We also want to make sure that we're taking a mobile first approach. You know, the majority of online traffic is done through mobile devices now. Typically on destination websites, we see anywhere from 60 to 75% of traffic being driven from a mobile device. So really keeping this in mind and building mobile first really ensures a better user experience, as well as keeping users on site longer and more engaged. We also want to make sure that the new website is much faster, much quicker, and has faster load times. You know, load times really heavily affect the site performance. Around 55% of mobile users will leave a site and bounce if it takes longer than 3 seconds to load. So really making sure that that load time is optimized will help the bounce rates and making sure that the users have a good first impression of the website. We also want to make sure that we focus on searchability. So we want to make sure that the website search page is optimized and serving relevant information when people are searching and accessing that information quickly. We also want to make better use of photo and videos. So this is, you know, definitely that visual element that will grab users' attentions and keeping them interested in the site once they visited. Imagery can really help solidify a brand. It can create interest and as well as promote whatever the content is that is featured and being shared. Along with that video and photography, we want to find avenues for UGC or user-generated content. When we also integrate user-generated content in the site, it helps bring authenticity to the destination and it connects it to real people, personalizing the site and generating more user interest. We also want to make sure that we're tracking and monitoring the analytics. Proper tracking analytics will allow for the ability to monitor the site's performance over time, set up key performance indicators, and address issues when they appear. We'll also look at benchmarks and compare that with other websites to always make sure that we're optimizing and maintaining the best performance possible. Additionally, we'll also want to focus on SEO optimization. You know, SEO is critical during a site refresh because there are changes into the site structure, the wireframes, the page names, site maps, URLs, etc. So really making sure that the SEO is focused coming out of this new website will be key. And lastly, we want to make sure that this is GDPR compliant. And GDPR stands for General Data Protection Regulation. And this will ensure that we're compliant with the EU regulations related to dealing with user data and rights to their privacy. So that's a long list, but those are our priority needs for the website. And with that same goal in mind, you know, we really want to take the approach of who's benefiting from this. And that, of course, are the prospective travelers. But we want to take that one step further and really keep in mind the hotel partners that are also, you know, going to be contributing to this and really making sure that we are looking for ways to drive traffic to the hoteliers, to making sure that we're really promoting them as well. So that's going to be a key theme across the whole website as we look through and work through this priority needs list. Next slide, please. So with all of that, we boiled it down to the scope of work, which our plan will include a logo and brand integration. We will build a WordPress responsive website. We'll create a custom theme for the entire website, as well as custom listings and a calendar of events set up. We'll have fresh top-tier page content that our team will help create. We will have the inclusion of client-provided content, photo galleries, and videos. We will, of course, do the initial SEO integration. We will apply Google Analytics and Tag Manager setup. And of course, we will provide CMS training to Karen and her team as well. From there, we will also, next slide please, be hosting the website and maintaining it after we launch. So Madden, we partner with a platform called platform.sh to provide fast, secure, and robust cloud-based hosting. This platform will allow us to also have a dedicated and separate staging environments so we can test the new site while keeping the old site live. It has a 24 hours, 7 days support with a 99.5 guaranteed uptime. It also focuses highly on security certificates as well as multiple frameworks for compliance issues. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, we already have kicked off this project with the team. So this first month of March, we are doing our onboarding discovery phase, learning more about the destination, getting all of my team members caught up and familiar with Farragut. And then we are doing the research, planning out what needs to go in, what content, what the navigation needs to look like. So we are anticipating a end of July timeline for the launch of the website, and we will begin hosting and maintaining the new website starting in August. All of this comes into a cost, next slide please, of the budget of $40,000. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have, but that is our run through of what we are planning to do in this first phase and getting us through the next couple of months.
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher, for the presentation. Karen, I'm assuming that the monies for this came out of some of that COVID relief, or is that what's that the budget that was already approved, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it did not come out of the CARES Act money was this is not CARES Act money. That was all dedicated toward our Light the Park experience, and that money all had to be spent by December 31st. This was budgeted from our professional services and our marketing budget, our just normal tourism budget. So that's where the funds for to be able to move forward with the RFQ came from.
Thank you for that. Does anybody else have any thoughts or questions? Mayor Williams, I don't know if you're on the call. Do you have any thoughts on this?
This is Alderman Pinchot. There was some information on slides 9, 10, and 11. I'd like to take a little more time to review. Can we get copies of those slides sent to us, please?
Absolutely, Ron. I'll make sure that I get I actually do already have the presentation from Madden, so I can definitely get that emailed out right after our meeting, so you can take a look at that. And if you need to follow up with TJ, I can certainly get his contact information to you as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't know if anybody else has questions. I'd just like to, again, thank TJ for being here this morning. And I have to say we had a kickoff phone call, and to see 9 people just super excited about working with Visit Farragut, and kind of the excitement of talking about our next steps was wonderful and made me feel so good, because sometimes I feel kind of like a one-person island. So it was great to know that you know, they're all like, no, we got your back, and this is going to be a great experience. So I'm looking forward to working with Madden. If you Again, if you've got questions, TJ is here today. If you have questions in the future, I can get you in contact with anyone in the Madden group. So.
Hey, Karen, I do have a question. I guess this would be for TJ. How did you find TJ and Madden initially and decide? I know that you were interviewing several different companies before you decided to go with Madden. Karen, Sue, why did you decide on this particular company? It seems very exciting.
Karen, if you want to, I'll just talk just slightly about the process so everyone understands. The town of Farragut is required anything over $10,000 to either go through a RFQ, which is a request for qualifications, or a bid process. And with something that's creative, it's pretty hard to do a bid process. So we did do a RFQ. That happened last year. Karen sent, we put the information out. We got quite a few submittals from companies, contractors all over the United States. So from that, we had a subcommittee. Wendy was your representative on that subcommittee, and we narrowed it down to the top 5. We asked them to submit some more information. From there, we narrowed it down to the top 2 and had some Zoom meetings with them to talk to them about specific information. And then this was the recommendation that came from the subcommittee to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. For my part, I think one of the big things was that they were willing, Madden was willing to step in, take the research that we've already done, listen to what we've already said about Farragut, and move forward with getting a product which we knew had to be the website development. So the RFQ was actually for tourism or public relations projects for the next 3 years. So there are other projects that we could enter into in the future using that same RFQ. We could go with Madden, we could go with a different company, depending on what everyone's strengths are. But for this, we knew the website development needed to be first. We were on a website that was very basic, the Wix, and it was great for the first couple years, but we needed to grow, as what I say is grow up and move to big boy website. So we felt the Madden was the best person or best group for this. They have great experience, and they were willing to get us launched. Not a lot of the contractors that we looked at really wanted to go back and do a lot more research, and that will come whether, as we move through this process and future processes, we will do some more research about our visitors and our tourists. But we needed to have something actually done. We needed to move forward and not just keep doing research over and over again. So that's, in my mind, and I'd say Karen and Wendy can speak to how they felt about it.
Yeah, I would add with, why Madden. Like Sue said, we had narrowed it down to 2, and then really did some deep dive. We asked them, what websites had they created, so we were able to go visit, websites that Madden created and that other teams had created. Madden is, I think, the first one of TJ's first couple slides there. Madden is a tourism. They're dedicated to that tourism industry. DMOs, hotels, attractions. They understand tourism. And tourism is its own beast. It's its own industry. And so to have that depth of understanding of tourism really kind of raised the bar in my mind for Madden. And the reference calls, I talked to 2 or 3 destinations that really Madden had worked on their website, and I kept hearing over and over again their growth. I believe they call it their growth-driven strategy. Well, and that is this ability to get the analytics back from your website and see what's working and what's not in real time. So like Sue was saying, a lot of firms wanted to step back and redo this research. Being able to get your website up and test and see what's working and what's not will be able to help us move, make those small changes quickly with Madden, because they really understand the industry, and that website becomes it's your most powerful marketing tool. So we can get the most bang for our buck, I guess you can say. So after really those reference calls, in my mind, Madden was my number one recommendation coming out of the committee. And I feel like again, I don't know if Wendy has a different viewpoint, but those are kind of my reasons of why Madden. And like I said, when we had our kickoff call, we've been working with TJ all along, and TJ is wonderful and everything, but it was also great to see everybody else on the team who just speaks that tourism language, understands they've built websites, they understand where we are 3 years into this process and where we would like to be 30 years into this process. So their knowledge and experience, I think, is going to go a long way to elevate Visit Farragut in this region.
This is Wendy. I definitely agree with both Sue and Karen. Basically, we didn't have to go back and recreate the wheel. We were able to go ahead and move forward, get a product being worked on. We're going to get that out soon. And just overall felt that it was really a great company that we can grow with. And that was, I think, a great place, because a lot of different ones that we looked at, they could do one part of it or not here, but I just feel like this is a good group that we can continue down the road if we feel that we need to do that. And looking forward to it. And it's always helpful too that TJ knows our area, so it's always a plus there as well.
I definitely spent many days and many dollars in Turkey Creek.
Well, that's awesome, and we appreciate that, TJ. But I do have another question with the tourism. You made the comment, TJ, about how important it is for the hotels as well as part of the Visit Farragut campaign. But as a business owner, I'm also wondering, what are the plans for, let's say, other than Visit Farragut, because of our beautiful parks and our history and our accommodations? We also have the Turkey Creek shopping. We have Topgolf that hopefully will be moving in soon. We do have large businesses that also draw tourism and things like that. So what are some of the avenues that the website would be able to either sell commercial advertisement for the businesses, or if Topgolf wanted to purchase, to tell about the facility once it opens and things like that? What is the plan for businesses on this website other than just the hotels?
Sure. So one of the first things I can definitely say would be the listings. So we do plan on having listings for the shopping, restaurants, et cetera, to provide all of that contact information, links to the websites, et cetera. We'll also have the event calendar built in as well. So if one of the restaurants is offering happy hour or live music or some other kind of event, they'll be able to post that information on the website as well. Part of that will also be through the photography and content as well. One of the big things that we talk about is inspirational content. So really thinking of itineraries and content that sparks not only the imagination, but also emotion, really making people want to visit those places. So we do have some content plans built into the website. But a lot of that also will go into phase 2 when that's actually promoting the actual marketing campaigns. In this first phase, this is really getting the website established, but then a lot of that also will come from, actual marketing campaigns that we run during phase 2. And of course, as we get further along in the process, we'll also be working with Karen and the team, to really hone in on what additional needs are there, and what other resources would they like to apply, in phase 2.
Okay, I appreciate that. Are there any other questions about?
Yeah, this is Alex. I guess this is geared towards TJ and Karen and the team there. Now that budgeted 40,000 that was approved for the website, is that just for the development, or is that actually for an ongoing period to maintain the website, change the content? And if so, how long is that contract for?
So the website rebuild, including some of the site content, that actually came in at $37,400. And then we do have a line item for post-launch hosting and maintenance. And that was for 5 months. Once we get the site live, then we would obviously move into that hosting and maintenance phase. And for the next 5 months, that was $2,600. So that will get us through the end of calendar year 2021. And then we will look obviously to phase 2 and continuing our relationship. We do not have to apply more dollars to the website. However, we definitely would encourage that to get additional content, get additional features, as Karen alluded to, what we call our growth-driven design method. However, that would all depend on the town's budget, the town's goals, and really working with us on the next project. We of course can just do maintenance and hosting, and that's just on a yearly basis as well, and that can also just be a flat line item charge as well.
Okay. Hey Karen, I'm sure you guys have some stuff available that you guys discussed during that. Would you be able to forward that to us as well, within the, I guess, the period that you guys discussed in terms of what's going to be done and the cost breakdown for that?
Yeah, Alex,
For the
I'll be happy to send you that information.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, DJ.
Of course.
Okay, are there any other questions for TJ or Karen or Wendy or Sue about going forward with this website campaign? Okay, thank you again, TJ. We really appreciate you being here today and joining us and sharing with us some very exciting and hard work that you and your team have put in. And we all look forward to working with you and moving forward with our website. So we appreciate you again for being here this morning.
Well, thank you. And we look forward to working with all of you as well.
Okay, since there are not any other questions for TJ from the Madden group, then on to other business. Are there any other issues, concerns, or questions going forward with the tourism visitor advisory moving forward through the summer?
This is Wendy Robinson. I just wanted to ask if there is an update about Topgolf, if they said anything about when they're going to start on their site. Just curious.
Mayor or Alderman Pinchuk, any ideas?
This is Alderman Pinchuk. Is the mayor on? Is he still on? Because he probably has more current information than I do. I did hear.
This is Trevor. I'd also be happy to offer some information if the mayor, if it would please the mayor.
Go ahead, Trevor.
So I think I don't want to go into too much detail on this. I haven't had conversations with every single person involved in the project, but my understanding is that they are working on closing on the property still. That should be happening very soon. The town has received, reviewed, and approved their plans. Those permits are ready to pick up. And so I have no doubt in my mind that the project is moving forward. But COVID,
Right.
that shut down Top Golf, and it delayed internal conversations with the business, and it delayed external conversations with the property owners and their realty partners. And so those things are just ramping back up. Our staff have had several meetings with their designers and their people, their team, and so things are moving forward on it. I don't have a specific timeline that I can give, but as soon as they close on the property, that's going to be the thing that allows them to go ahead and pick up their permits and start moving forward on the visible, tangible part that we'll all see and know that the project is started.
Okay, thank
Trevor,
you.
Trevor, this is Alderman Pinchot again. In addition to the COVID, wasn't there some type of a buyout with the company as well?
There was a corporate restructuring. Yes, you're correct. World Golf or something along those lines. Yeah, there was more to it, I think, than we may all be aware of. That things are just taking a little bit longer, but certainly, I think the story here, if anyone's listening and is inclined to write about it, is that the town has provided them all the support that they need. The permits are literally ready for them to pick up. If there are any obstacles that need to be overcome, then they are probably outside of the scope of influence of the town. But I'm very excited for the project to go forward, and I think that they have all the resources they need. They just need to work through the closure, on the property itself.
And Trevor, in all of these kind of ideas, and I know they're waiting for the permits, did you get a sense at all as, let's assume for a moment that everything gets finished within the next 30, 60, 90 days or whatever. Did they ever share with you how long they expect construction and actual development of it once they're able to break ground? Is this going to be a 6-month build out, 9 month, a year? Did they give you any ideas at all for that?
They have said that in various some public meetings, some staff meetings. I cannot remember exactly how it breaks down, but the gist of it is that they're going to go full speed ahead. They have a large and very well connected team, where I think their project will look a little different than some of the projects that the town has, where, for various reasons, our projects sometimes take a little longer. Theirs, I don't think will be that case. I think they're going to have all of their people are going to be equally motivated to move forward with all speed and efficacy, if I can say that, so that once they break ground, I think it's going to be pretty quick that they end up getting open and done with the project. So they have said what the timeline looks like. I just can't remember the specifics, but it's a pretty quick turnaround.
Okay, thank you. Another question that had been brought to my attention yesterday in a meeting. There are going to be some more funds that are coming to the state of Tennessee through Governor Lee's office due to COVID for small business. Does anyone know or have heard anything more about this for the hotel industry? If they qualify in these Tennessee state funds, maybe Alderman Pinchuk, you would know something about that?
There was a TML, Tennessee Municipal League conference yesterday, and the governor spoke. And there's a lot of money coming down to municipalities and counties, and how and when that money's going to reach us, I'm not sure time frame. They're going to try to get it out as quickly as possible, but I don't know that. I know what they did say was that food business was up considerably. I'm talking about grocery food, and car sales and things like that were very strong in the state. They know that the problems are with hotels, tourism, and they're going to do everything they can to address that. But I couldn't give you a time frame because Governor Lee didn't give us much of a time frame yesterday. But it's coming. That's all I can tell you.
Thank you for that update. Are there any other business ideas, thoughts, concerns that anybody has at this time?
Candace, this is Karen again. I do have two things to let everybody know. Our committee member, Jeannie Stowe, she emailed me a week or so, maybe 2 weeks back. She has some things going on family-wise that is going to make it very difficult for her to attend meetings, virtual or in-person meetings. She just has a lot on her plate right now. So she unfortunately has resigned from the committee. So we now actually have 2 open committee slots, and our administrative department handles committee appointment, committee applications, and then applications have to be approved by BOMA. So administration is aware of it, and of course, as applications come in, we will hope to get our committee back up to full speed. So that was one announcement, and then the second one announcement is if you have not yet heard, Carissa, our full-time media assistant, she took an opportunity somewhere else and has resigned from the town. So she's been gone for, I guess, about 2 weeks now. So if you're not seeing, most of you know that Carissa was really instrumental in upping our video game, her editing skills and things. So you may see a repeat of some of our videos while we work to replace the media assistant. We hope to do that quickly. We do have a open job right now on the town website and some other sources. That job applications close this Friday. We already have a large stack of applications, and I'm happy to report some great applicants there. So hopefully we will move quickly to fill that slot and be back up to speed in the tourism department. So I just wanted to let everybody be aware of those 2 things.
And I have
Thank
one
you,
thing.
Karen.
I have
go
one
ahead,
thing
Sue.
to add. This is Sue Stool. Your next meeting in May will be in person unless something really happens that changes that, but it will be in person here at the community center. The meeting will largely be spent as a focus group for our Parks and Recreation Master Plan. This is something that the town staff is going to be working on for the rest of the year. The 4 committees that are part of Parks and Recreation, which you are one, will serve as the focus groups to get this started. And there will be many opportunities for the citizens to get involved, and other committees will be involved through surveys, and there'll be intercept interviews at the parks and some events. But you guys are going to be the ones that we start with. So you will get a packet in April of information about our current facilities and some ideas of the questions that you'll be looking at, but that's going to be the very large share of your next meeting. We'll do a very quick coordinators report and then move on to that, because this is pretty essential for us to get grants in the future. Thanks.
Thank you, Sue. And I did have a question, Karen, for the 2 open spots on this committee. Are there specific people or businesses or hotel? What are we looking for to complete our committee? What was the role of the 2 that left that need to be filled, please?
Sure. Both of the open committee slots are at-large members. And Candace, I will, following the meeting, I will send out the roster that has the information when everyone's term is up, because we do have some terms coming up in June of what year are we in? In 2021. So I'll just send that out for everybody to look at, and they'll know, you know, if you're in your first term, if you've decided for a second term, where everybody stands. So so everyone is clear on that. But the two, both resignations came from at-large